but more specifically, a challenge is where the problem is well defined and you're soliciting solutions for these problems. So these are different modes. More recently, we have introduced the idea of a research hackathon. Just like we are familiar with hackathons as a way to get something quickly done. Recently, in our AI for Science and Engineering, we did a research hackathon, and I'm pleased to inform you that we had over 2,100 students and many undergraduates who were exposed to research for the very first time.
Very good.
So these are different things we are trying, and so that on one hand we are introducing different folks, but then ultimately it's a combination of foundation, horizontal we call it, and then various vertical pillars, and then you can think of a house or a building emerging from this.
Oh, you just said the magic word AI. So we have to talk about it, okay? What are good and bad use cases of AI in research? Students need to know this.
See, just like human intelligence we have and we apply it to real problems, AI is a machine that exhibits learning and capability. Learning by itself, is a means to an end. You have to say, what end can you do? When you have a chatbot and you're able to chat with it or, write an essay and so on, that is one kind of thing. But do you know that AI can actually model, computational fluid dynamics? You can actually, just like we have numerical approximations or numerical evaluation of fluid dynamics, you can now have what are called neural operators that can be modeled. And then that actually it provides an approximation of an approximation. But it's very, very, very fast. It's several orders of magnitude faster. So this will allow you to do fluid dynamic simulations much faster. And guess what? It's not just like 10 times faster or even 100 times faster. Sometimes it can be 10,000 or a million times faster. When something is a million times faster, guess what? You can actually put it, as part of a digital twin. For example, when a plane is flying, it can model, the output of radar or sensing that it can, it's coming through, even though it's flying at a high speed. Or when a wind turbine is spinning, this computational fluid dynamics can be modeled, and you can have much more interesting digital twins. That's an example of AI meeting science and engineering, solving a real problem. Now, if you look at many areas where it is very costly and it takes a long cycle. I mean, a classic problem is drug disease or a cure for cancer and these sorts of things. Now we have to say, apply AI to these sorts of problems and say, how can you shorten the time to get to a cure? And by shortening the time, can I also reduce the cost of doing that? Now, whether you're taking any subset of that, right? Can AI give prospects of molecules? Now with, one of the Nobel Prizes in chemistry last time went to, somebody from an AI background. And then that has led to solving problems that were long standing for a very, very long time, protein folding and the like. And then that again becomes the beginning of doing new forms of proteins. But now I need proteins that are stable, proteins that have certain activity profiles, and then proteins that can convert biomass to energy, so that we can either reduce import dependency or other sorts of things, right? These are still unsolved problems. How can I do it at scale, at low cost, and so on, right? So there are many such nationally important problems that there. Similarly, in material science, how can I design materials of a different nature, and so on. So this area is rapidly evolving, and so there are many hard problems that I feel some of the biggest applications of AI are in embedding into the process of research, process of science and engineering as well. So that's one of the areas we are really excited about. We have a mission mode program just around that. But take any societal problem and say, okay, can I press an AI button and solve traffic? Can I press an AI button and solve air pollution? The answer is no. So that's why you need humans to help imagine the problems, and then you have to say abstract out and figure out where exactly AI can be applied. Say whatever we think of as inefficient and so on, right? Like say, for example, our legal system, the court cases go on for a very long time. What can AI do to solve that problem? So I think many of these problems, again, we have to think of AI as a means to an end. And then I think humans have this higher order thinking. We can, pick up the bigger problems and then use AI as a very powerful tool in this journey of solving many more problems. And then as we solve problems, that naturally leads to the effect of prosperity, right? So we are not going out of a job very soon.